Hello there, it's another Saturday morning, and each Saturday morning we're excited because we look at all the topical issues that have transpired during the week, and here is the battleground for ideas in solving some of these challenges that emerged during the week. And that's why always we're excited to bring you Prime Insights here on the Joy Prime channel. My name is Blessed Suga, and what a pleasure having you again watching us from home. We have our in-studio audience and also my guest who will be helping us to do the discussions. In fact, we'll be pointing out those who are on the panel today and telling you about what is coming up, but just to also remind you that we're streaming online. It's on the Joy Prime handle and also on Joy News. Also on all of our social media handles, you can just check out what's happening there. Drop a comment, a like or two, and then you can send us your concerns over here. We'll, of course, read them out to the rest of the world. My name is Blessed Suga, and what a pleasure having all of you watching us here on Joy Prime. What we want to do now is to tell you about what's happening this week. Very sad situation it is, but as hard as it is, we must announce that to you, that we've lost 6 individuals. They did not commit any crime. They were only searching for jobs, and unfortunately, we lost them. And that's because scores of people amassed at the El-Wak Sports Stadium earlier this week as part of the recruitment exercise for the Ghana Armed Forces. That's just the start of the process. In fact, the president had to give a directive for the process to be suspended, simply because the overwhelming crowd that was there, the numbers, sheer numbers that you'll be seeing shortly on your screens, will give you a sense of what happened at the El-Wak Sports Stadium earlier today, this week. And it's the reason for which we're expanding the conversation to look at the quest for jobs, the quest for youth employment. This government promised to create jobs for the youth. And as we know it, that is one of the ways, of course, government was seeking to create the jobs, but they were overwhelmed by the numbers. Next week, we understand that another opening will happen for another set of security agencies. The sheer numbers are just mind-blowing. And that's why, unfortunately, we had a stampede at the El-Wak Sports Stadium where we lost 6 females. And now the government has announced a new plan as to what will happen to the families of these individuals. I'll be telling you all about that and more. Then we'll feed that into the 2026 budget, because since we're speaking about jobs, the finance minister is giving us a sense of how many jobs will be created at the end of the implementation of the 2026 budget. He says he's aiming at some 800,000 jobs or 80,000 jobs. I'll correct that figure for you shortly. It's 800,000 jobs, we understand, from the figures that we have from the finance minister. So 2026 budget creating 800,000 jobs. At the heart of that is the oil palm production, which the government wants to rely on as part of the job creation process. But how about the public sector and the numbers that we're seeing even with the recruitment into the security agencies? That's a staggering figure. What will the government do about that? We'll delve into all of that and more. Plus, look at the final announcement towards the forensic audit that was done on the helicopter crash. The recommendation is that we get new aircraft and new logistics for the Ghana Armed Forces, including new aircraft. Of course, the finance minister has also touched on that in Parliament. It appears that the plan of government is to bring in 2 new airplanes, 4 helicopters, at least from the 2026 budget. So that's making it 6 in all. We do not know if there are other plans to maybe just show up other items, but the minority has been putting a cost to that already. They believe that it's even way beyond the aircraft, because some other logistics will be procured for the Ghana Armed Forces. Will that be enough in ensuring the state security? We'll look at all of that here on Prime Insight. But what I want to do first of all is to give you a wrap of what transpired earlier today, earlier this week, when the president and some of the senior officials visited the 37 military hospital where the unfortunate incident happened, where the remains of the 6 females were deposited, and some other casualties who we understand are receiving treatment. Here's a wrap for you, just to give you a sense of what happened earlier this week.
We have decided that every screening center should not screen more than 1,000 a day. And even the 1,000, you screen 500 in the morning and screen 500 in the afternoon. So if you are for afternoon and you decide to rush in the morning, that itself becomes basis for disqualification. And I want to assure you that under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we will do everything humanly possible to make sure that this process, the right people get into the training. But we are trying to see how many people will even qualify. But let's even assume that I know that I'm going to have 10,000 and I close the portal at 10,000. Remember, I have to go for body selection, I have to go for tests, I have to go for medicals and all that.
Families are not having it easy as expected. But when I say the government is standing with them to give the disease befitting barrier, it means that everything that needs to be done to put the deceased to rest properly, the government will take care of that.
We think that these 6 young female potential recruits had made it. They were qualified to the stage where we were to inspect their documentations and also do body selection in order to assess their fitness level. And for the family to lose them under the circumstances as we have, His Excellency the President has directed that we give the opportunity to the family to replace all these 6 dead persons. Of course, we have to check their fitness level, how they are healthy, how they qualify to be with the Ghana Armed Forces. Not only that, His Excellency the President has also directed that all injured persons involved in this tragic incident be also given the automatic qualification to be recruited for the Ghana Armed Forces. At any point they recover and our health professionals assess their suitability to be with the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency the President has given the directive that we give them automatic recruitment to join. So this is what government is doing.
We have decided that every screening center should not screen more than 1,000 a day. And even the 1,000, you screen 500 in the morning and screen 500 in the afternoon. So if you are for afternoon and you decide to rush in the morning, that itself becomes basis for disqualification. And I want to assure you that under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we will do everything humanly possible to make sure that this process, the right people get into the training. But we are trying to see how many people will even qualify. But let's even assume that I know that I'm going to have 10,000 and I close the portal at 10,000. Remember, I have to go for body selection, I have to go for tests, I have to go for medicals and all that.
Families are not having it easy as expected. But when I say the government is standing with them to give the disease befitting barrier, it means that everything that needs to be done to put the deceased to rest.
And we say that may their soul rest in perfect peace. Not a good time for us. We hope that going forward into next week, the processes will be improved. But what actually had transpired earlier this week at the El Sports Stadium, there are varied accounts, everybody telling their side of the story. But what we've decided to do is to just hear from some of the recruits as well, to find out what their experiences were with the recruitment process and possibly what they feel could be improved as a result of the ongoing exercise, because the numbers we're expecting even for next week will be really high. But as you've heard from the Interior Ministry there'll be new procedures in place. So now it will be moved online as the first phase. Then a certain limited number will be allowed at various satellite centers for the recruitment exercise. But let's find out what actually happened through the eyes of some of the recruits themselves. I have one in studio who would introduce himself and then give us his account of what his experience was. Kindly introduce yourself to us. Your name?
I'm Bright Edem Sonuvo. And I'm a Voltarian.
Right.
Yes. Yes, so...
Bright, what was your experience with the exercise earlier this week?
It wasn't what I expected. It was too overcrowded. I didn't expect that kind of number. Yeah, I got there very early, around 5 a.m., but I met over thousands of people, and they were still coming. So I was shocked that I met that kind of number, and then it was really crowded.
But what was the number like? I mean, when you got to the All Sports Stadium, just give us a sense of that.
Well, I would say in thousands, might be 2,000, 3,000. Yeah, that's what I see it to be, or more, 3,000 or more.
3,000 or more. That was the number that we're dealing with. 3,000.
No, you were asking what the number of people that I saw there.
Yeah. But some of your colleagues went there as early as 2 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Was the number the same throughout? What was it? How was it like?
No, that's what I'm saying. I was there myself around 5, and I met over 3,000 people. But as time goes on, people were coming in, and then the number was still increasing. Yes.
We're seeing some videos of the numbers. How did the stampede happen? I guess that's what everyone is interested in. Do you recall what happened? Were you, at the entrance, or where do you recall being when all of this happened?
Okay. What I can remember is that we were there. People that came very early, around, let's say, 12 a.m. that way, they were very close to the gate. And we that came around 5 had to get a little far from the gate. So they didn't open the gate on time. They said 6:30. They said 6:30, but the gate was opened around 6:50. So I think everyone was desperate to see the gate being opened. So there was shock waves, people pushing from the back, trying to push the gate open, and the people in the front were also struggling to stand the shock waves, and the pressure was very high. Yeah.
The forms, the purchase of the forms, how difficult or otherwise was it for you?
Well, the forms wasn't difficult for me because I just went to the post office, get my form, and then went online to fill out the required details.
The issues surrounding, what you were told when you got there, were you asked by some individuals to go back? Because we saw some videos of the regional minister, for instance, saying that some of you were asked to go home. At least that was the directive, because the numbers were just too much.
Yes, we were asked to go home. That was because they said the stadium was full. It can't take no more numbers. That it was full. So we have to go home, and then the Air Force will come the following day, which is Thursday, and the Navy should come on Friday, and then the rest of the Army should come on Saturday. That was what they told us.
Are you still hopeful that you'll be selected, looking at the numbers that we are?
Well, the number is quite very, very something else. But on my side, I'm still hopeful I'll get a chance in.
If there was an appeal for government, what would you want to let them know about the exercise? and what possibly they should be doing? Because we understand that only 4,000 people will be taking.
Yes, I think the number 4,000 is not enough. They should at least increase it to something about 6,000 or 7,000, because to what I saw, it's 4,000. It wouldn't help. Yes.
Have you spoken to some other of your colleagues, those who have gone through the process and all of that? What are they telling you about how they are feeling?
Once I spoke to were very disappointed. They were very, very disappointed because they didn't expect things to go that way. But, you know, we just still hanging on.
They'll be opening the portal for some other security agencies. Do you mind trying the others, the other agencies then?
Well, my interest is mainly in the armed forces. As for me personally, my main interest is in the armed forces, and I don't think I'd be going in for the other services.
Okay, great. That's great. Well, but is there any other thing you'd want to say as a way of appealing so that the numbers will be increased? Is there any other thing you'd want to add to that? So that because the authorities are listening, probably there's a special appeal you want to make to them.
I just want to say that they should please give us a chance, because some of us, it's the honor to serve our country. It's not just because of unemployment in the country. Me in person, it's from since I was a kid, I've been dreaming to serve this country. So that's all I would say. They should at least give us, we that deserve it. I'm not saying they should just pick us and then send us there. They should send us, take us through the appropriate procedures. When we qualify, they should give us a chance. We got what it takes to do it. I know what.
Are you tempted to take up any other army role elsewhere for any other country, if the opportunity presents itself?
Well, my country is my country, and I love my country very much. Someone that leaves his land for someone else to handle might end up saying it's not being handled the way he expects. So I don't think I would leave my country for any other country.
Well, and we're happy that you're joining us in studio today. But what I would want to do now is to introduce my guest for the morning, Ernesto Yeboah is leader of the Economic Fighters League. Richard Kumado is a security consultant. Awal Mohammed is a member of the national communications team of the New Patriotic Party. And Tanko Rashid Computer is on Zoom with us. He's the Director Elections for the National Democratic Congress. Thank you all, gentlemen, for your time. Maybe I should start off with you, Richard, because you understand the space and how all of these security issues happen. But many are asking the question, how come that an intelligence-driven agency like the Ghana Armed Forces would not even anticipate the number of individuals who would have been there at the Elwak Sports Stadium?
I was disappointed, and we are talking of the Ghana Armed Forces, one of the best in the world. And considering the fact that we have similar recruitment exercise taking place all over the country, we never had any negative issue from Ho. So the question is, what did the people at Ho did better than the people in Accra? I think lack of preparedness might have given them up, and they were not ready. They were not anticipating the numbers. But then again, the people apply and they have the numbers. So the question I was asking initially was, you have Accra Sports Stadium, you have Elwak, you have Legon Stadium, you have Botiano Stadium. Why didn't you spread the people across? But blessed, it goes beyond that. So then I came to the issue of a procedure that is not giving us the results. So they should have been more creative. They should have been more strategic about it. And the president asked them to stop and go back account. What he's saying is that review the procedure and be more strategic about it. So that is what we are going to see.
The numbers, the sheer numbers, I mean, why so much interest in the Ghana Armed Forces? You would expect that, well, it's not a white-collar job. This is an armed forces job, a job in the security service. You wouldn't ordinarily expect that there should be a process that will, endear a lot of Ghanaian youths. But the numbers we even saw in Accra alone is so significant that many are even worried as to why the huge numbers in the first place.
I think listening to my brother, I'm excited. I had the opportunity of serving this country in a BNI, and I'm a security intelligence consultant. I've done it across the globe, so I'm happy with what you said. But many of the faces I saw there, I don't think some of them understood really why they are there. Some might be seeing this as a job, but I love what you said. You are there to serve. And joining the army is a service to the state. But to the extent that job creation has become a major issue, most people might be taking the role because they are finding jobs to do. And that is the lack of the responsibility and the proper education we need to do in this country. The public education awareness creation is key. And once we don't do that, you're going to have problems. Because, brother, do you know the other side of it? Because it's a service, it comes with a lot of sacrifice. And one of the ultimate sacrifice to pay is death.
Is that to say that what happened is not regrettable?
No, it is. I think people have to be held accountable. But I'm not surprised again, because don't beat me for this. Black people don't like accountability. If we had to be in some other countries, people would have been resigning by now. Most of us have traveled. I've lived in London for like 7 to 10 years. I have a cousin in the British Army at the highest level. There's a lot of people in this country who have served in the British Army who are here. Right. And we know the procedure, particularly with the British Army. And I want to believe we could have benchmarked that. 1st of November, the BNI wrote their aptitude test. And ever since I've joined the BNI and followed them closely, we have streamlined the process, rehearsed it, and make sure we don't have the kind of issues the military had. Probably they could have benchmarked that of the BNI. But I'm saying that if we want to be held accountable, if we want to be responsible, then you come to the job more prepared. Where were the instructors? You saw the video you saw where somebody was pushing them back. And with the kind of pressure my brother is talking about, it may lead to ABCD, particularly when these young ones were not properly educated as to what to do. Why did they ask you to come for the body search? They are texting them on about 7 to 8 things. And that is the reason why you need that physical presence at that particular place. Let people be held accountable. Let's wake up to our responsibility and let's come to the job more prepared, because these are guys who want to serve their country, and what we saw was regrettable.
Ernesto?
Well, I think we should all be ashamed as a country. And my brother, what's your name?
Bright Edem Sonuvo.
Bright. I mean, it's unfortunate your name is even in contrast with what this nation promises you. The future is not bright. It's not. You may be optimistic and all of that. But I want to inform you that this nation has been unkind to you. Right from the processes of your education all the way to tertiary. I mean, look at what the universities do. Fleece you, you have to end up paying for, forms, sometimes not knowing which particular public university you want to go to. And so you pay for Legon, you pay for KNUST, you pay for UCC, you pay for other universities. That's a lot of money that could have done something. And then, even in those universities, I mean, ask yourself, I mean, if we are to go back into history, what were the conditions available to students? I mean, this current generation and Akufo-Addo's generation, basically, what conditions did the states give them when they were students? And then we move away from that. After going through the struggle and all of that, you want to serve your country. And listening to you, in fact, I doff my hat out to you for stepping up and saying that, you know what, I love my country, and even if I'm given the opportunity to serve anywhere in the world, I will still choose my country. that beautiful level of patriotism appears to be missing on the leadership of this country. They are not planning with you in mind. They are not thinking about you.
But
why should
you say that? The political class will take you on to say, well,
they should take me on.
You make it look as though they don't plan for these people. In fact, the recruitment process.
They don't. We have 6 human beings dead. And it would appear that nobody cares. And I blame the media that even up till now, we don't have the names of these 6 people.
So is that sensitive to do at this moment?
It is.
Their names, sorry.
The names are out.
It is. I mean, when was it out? Because as of yesterday when I was speaking on Joy, it was still not out. I only know one. You see, and what we've seen are the pictures of the victims, but not their names. And the point I am making is that we have to humanize the process. They are not statistics. They are human beings. They are not, how do you call it? We're not uprooted from, spaces like plants. They came from homes in search of jobs that the state had promised them. In fact, the state, even before promising them, has fleeced them. How on earth do you pay for forms in order to be considered for recruitment? How? So, Bright, this country has been unfair to you. But looking at the numbers that you saw, I am informing you that there is power in those numbers. And if you are to respond appropriately, in accordance with the power inherent in those numbers, this nation will change for the better.
Is that not insurrection? Inciting the public against the government then?
Something has to change to the extent that the state is not holding itself accountable, to the extent that no head has rolled, to the extent that no conscience has shifted in favor of the people to say that, you know what, I was gifted with the privilege of handling this process. Unfortunately, I failed. And because of that, I resigned.
If someone is to resign, are you then asking the finance minister to resign? Because he's the acting defense minister. He's just doing that in an acting role.
You see, I'm talking about conscience. Whoever feels responsible, whoever knows that things would have been different if they exercise leadership. Muntaka, I don't appreciate Muntaka coming to stand there.
No, but I've heard Richie talk about accountability. You are also talking about accountability. That's why I'm being a bit more specific to find out who exactly should be taking the responsibility for this. Because if you are talking about a sector minister, he's just in an acting role. That's the setup we have now.
And I'm saying that, you see, the point I'm making is a very small point.
Right.
It borders on conscience, and when one doesn't have it or has very little of it, it becomes a debatable issue. Mention anybody and I can adduce the arguments on why they should not resign. But if there is a little bit of conscience in such persons, they know that they have failed this country gravely. The military institution itself, how accountable has it been? How responsive, how sensitive has it been in this whole thing? We have not seen a statement, for instance, coming from Ghana Armed Forces, apologizing to the state or to the country and saying that we accept responsibility for what has, happened. And these are the steps that we have taken. It's one of your media guys who had to go inside and see that some reshuffling had been made. Reshuffling at the time when heads must roll. So I want to call on the youth of this country, and we represent the marginalized in society. We represent the poor of the poorest, the exploited in this country. And I am telling you that there is, look, about 5 years ago.
So are you sure you belong to that? You belong to that category of
course,
people? Yeah.
The Economic Fighters League. That is our base. Yeah. This is what we do. In fact, about 5 years ago.
Yeah, because people will not buy the idea that Ernesto says he's part of the marginalized.
The marginalized, the poor of the poor. But I am. Politically, where do I belong?
Oh, but Ernesto for Ernesto.
No. Where is Ernesto Yeboah in all of this?
People within the group, a lot of them are.
You see, there is
that you are well-to-do. I mean,
well-to-do.
Yeah.
I mean,
there are lawyers amongst I know them.
There are lawyers. I mean, talk about them. How do you call it? My colleague Abeku Adams.
Yes.
How is he even in law school? We had to waive contributions on Facebook to put him in law school.
Okay.
So what are we talking about here? But my point here is that there's a lot that we can do. 5 years ago or so, we organized a protest dubbed Fight for Jobs. Fight for Jobs. And here, we were looking forward to young people and, citizens who needed jobs and whatnot, because it is a right for every citizen to be employed. Because at the base of your employment is the protection of your human dignity. Look, the media came because everybody was shaking, thinking that people were going to be in the streets. At the end of the day, only about 30 people, were there, including myself.
Okay.
And so the point for me is that let us renew our minds and hold ourselves together and fight those who are holding our future to hostage.
All right.
Because without that, it's going to be the normal party. You had the member of parliament, from Pusiga. He said, oh, you are bound to die. And what she said is not out of the norm for the entire leadership stretch of this country at every level, from our mosque institutions to our churches to our schools to Nipa Nyeshi. Don't we say that in the drinking spots, beer bars, in the street? So even the conception of death, we don't value lives. And that's the kind of leadership we have. And if we don't take care, that is where we are going to end up. And that's why we are saying that let us use this opportunity to learn all the lessons. But from what I have seen so far, it does not look like we are a nation prepared to learn any lessons.
Okay. They will now be giving a slot to each of the families. So I have your take on that and how technical that is, because if I'm the one going into the military, I wonder how you're going to transfer that to another.
Two portions of
okay, you want to touch on that before I bring in our yes, okay.
There are two portions of it. There's a civil employment in the military. So for those who are injured, we don't know their degree of injury.
Okay.
And because you can't send them to the front line. In the front line, there are a lot of stuff in there. You can't go to infantry, you can't be a commando, you can't be special forces. So we don't know that what the arrangement is going to be, particularly those in ICU.
Okay.
We don't know whether they are coming to us alive or they will join their colleagues, and that is something we need to look carefully. But the other one that is also a little bit unfortunate.
So you're saying that is sound reasoning to say, we've lost the 6. We're giving slots to the members of their family.
Okay, so that's what I was coming to. That one is also a little unfortunate. The mothers who sent their children who lost their lives did not send them because they want replacement for them, particularly when we have not buried them.
Right.
And so in as much as it's an opportunity, and people may say it looks sweet, the timing is a little bit of an issue.
Right.
Then to say they should bring somebody for replacement, then you might be missing the point. My brother Bryce said he wants to serve the country. We all went to serve the country. And in serving the country, we know there's a price to pay, which is a huge sacrifice, which is death. But to say that my daughter died and I should bring another person, it's a good idea, great opportunity. The timing is a bit of a problem for me. And I don't think the mothers of these children will take it lightly. That is
you feel they may even reject the offer because of the trauma?
Yes, because they have not been buried, and you went on air and said this, and you went to the families and said this. For those who are injured, it comes with a level of degree of injury, whether they'll be given civilian employment or not. That is another discussion. But for those who are dead, to say they should bring another person, it's a great opportunity, but I feel the timing and how the mothers are going to take it, particularly those mothers I saw and how they were crying.
It will be a challenge.
I feel it's going to be a bit of a challenge.
The next phase, we'll be talking about the upcoming ones. And Ernesto, you have to prepare for that because it's not just the military. We have the other agencies coming up. They'll be opening the portal. We'll see the reforms in place. But not a good time for all of us. I mean, you're just searching for jobs and this is what's happening. It's really sad. We've heard from some lawmakers and some who share your faith as well. They say, well, may Allah bless their soul, they say. Is that first of all a sound teaching? Because many were not really aware of that, you know.
Okay, so thank you so much and good morning to our cherished viewers and the audience in the studio. And thank you so much for the opportunity. I think, yes, what he said is embedded in Islam, that indeed no soul will really exceed the time that the person has come to stay in this world. So, but unfortunately, she said it at a wrong forum and a wrong time, especially people losing their loved ones. Then you come as an MP, especially when they are all ladies. You come as an MP, a female MP, to say that, well, they are destined to die today, and whatever be the case, even if you bring all the ministers and everyone, they will still die today. It is quite unfortunate that she espoused that on the floor of Parliament, especially when the identities of the sects are not even Muslims. So maybe they don't even believe in that doctrine. We believe that whoever is born in this world has a time limit, and the time limit will not exceed. It's embedded in the Quran. There is a verse in the Quran that says that Inna ajalallahi iza ja'a la yu'akhar. If the time is due, there is nothing that can be done. But unfortunately, at that point in time, you as a legislator getting that opportunity to address the country, if you come with this thing, you will get the necessary bashing that she got. So I was not surprised at all. But if they were Muslims, we will understand that. But we know that there are people who caused it. And even in Islam, manslaughter, even if you go through the court process and you are even charged for manslaughter, you're supposed to pay an equivalent of over 100 camels to the family, even if it is manslaughter. Not necessarily killing someone, you understand, murder, but even manslaughter, you understand. So if really something like that happened, we know that the person died. But he said because it's manslaughter, someone might have killed him, so the person should even pay some compensation to the family. You remember the Zongo 7 in Ashanti region? Right. When it happened, it was apparent that it was the security services that killed them, and they killed them unjustly. The state had to compensate the families with, is it 400,000 or so each to the families and so on. Maybe my security expert can refresh my mind. You understand? So that is what really happened. It is not paying for the lives, but you do that to assuage the feelings of the families. And that's the reason when you even check, if let me just use myself as an example. If something unfortunate happened like that, it is not me who will pay, but it's the family that comes together to pay the other family so that they will assuage their feelings. So that is there, but she said it on a forum that is not supposed to even say it. Again, when you check what happened, I think it's unfortunate. Mr. Komado is saying that, well, they should have benchmarked what BNI does. They should benchmark their own processes, because this is not the first time that the military is recruiting in this country. Have you ever heard someone dies out of that? No. That is the reason I have always blamed the military and not the civilian. So if you tell me, here's my role, I do not call for any of the civilians, either Buja Jemfi or the acting defense minister, to go. It is those who did not open the gate early. You call the people, you knew you invited 21,000 people on that venue alone. The 21,000 people came, some came around 2 a.m., 4 a.m., right? Then you did not open the gate early. If they had come and the gate were opened, they would have entered and would be in the queues. Someone came 4 a.m. You came to open the gate around 7 or 8. Now they are angling to get in there. Someone came around 6. Someone 4 a.m. The 4 a.m. person was, but I came 4 a.m. This person has entered, so let me enter. That's the reason you could see people climbing from the top just to be on the queue so that they will be first come, first serve. Don't forget that these are people who are coming from all over. You see, when they died, we saw that some were coming from Kaswa. So if the person comes and the person do not come early, it means the person might not even get to his tent before the following day. And that is the problem. At YEA, when I was working as the head of public relations for youth employment, we had done these processes. We opened the portal for community police. We have over 100,000 people applying. We do the shortlisting with their documents in the boardroom. After that, if we are to do body screening of 50,000 people, we decentralize it in the district police offices. So you get someone from the national headquarters, one person from the region, then we decentralize it and we do it within like 2 weeks.
It was also done the same way because they had regional. So
I'm saying that even what we do in the region like Greater Accra, if it is 20,000 people that applied, we still spread it at their district level. So if you think that the numbers are overwhelming, 21,000, can't you go to the Black Star Square? That is where it can take, even if it is 50,000, and they will be there. And there will not be stampede. They can even have places to run if really they've seen stampede and so on. So I think it is the military that is to be held responsible for what had happened. Look at even after that. They came with sticks. And they were punishing them with the sticks, telling them, pass here, pass here. And it also happened in Ashanti region. I'm told over 20 people were also hospitalized in Ashanti region. Why do we have to wait until someone is dead or hospitalized before the person gets the enlistment? They are not even telling us really the right information, because initially the media reported 12. Now they said, no, it is 6. 5 in critical, 5 in the ICU, and 12 in critical conditions. What is the meaning? What's the difference between ICU and critical condition? Because almost all those in critical condition must be at ICU. So I am also disappointed in the media, that the media is yet to even go and check the 17, whether they are still alive or not. We don't also know.
We'll find out soon, because, I mean, for health records, you have to go through.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, that we should be checking and see the 17, whether they are still alive. If they are alive, are they being taken care of the way the state is supposed to take care of them? The 6 that they have said, yes, I think I share in his view that the timing is wrong for you to come to me. I've lost my daughter who has left, that she wants to serve her country in a different capacity as a military person. Then the person goes, just a day after, you go to the family, then you try to tell them that you can bring someone from your family. How many people within the family are interested in that job? So if you're not careful, you put a square peg in a round hole, because maybe there will be siblings who may not have been interested to even work as a military person, but you pick that person. The qualification too is also another problem. The person might not even be qualified. The person also do not have the passion to serve as a military person. So you put such a person there, they may result in what happened over there, that you see a military man using a stick, controlling the crowd. And one unfortunate thing that happened is that it happened at LWAC, a security zone. LWAC is a security zone. And in a security zone, you couldn't even, the emergency response, how did that happen? There were no ambulance people there. When I checked the video, I saw it was their own colleagues who were trying to resuscitate them. It's quite unfortunate that you know that you are arranging for people. At 1 year, when we are supposed to really screen even 2,000 people, we go with ambulances, about 5 ambulances, about 200 security, so that they will be there to control the crowd, and the ambulance will also do the response. So you do 21,000 in a security zone where Bema camp is closed, airport is closed, 37 military hospital is closed, just within the middle, and 6 people are dead, 17 are at critical condition.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate.
Okay, Rashid Tanko Computer is with us on Zoom, and maybe because you're saying it, some will say it's your account. We have some more of the recruits here who will be sharing their accounts with us. Rashid, good morning to you. We understand you're not in the country, so it's fair enough. I won't see you anytime soon, but I'm sure when you come back, we'll have you in studio. But should your MP be apologizing by now for those remarks in Parliament?
Well, I'm in the country. Actually, I'm not in Accra.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you are. Okay, right.
I'm currently up north.
Okay.
Let me say good morning to the good people of Bimbila. I'm here to visit my people up there.
Oh, wow.
Bimbila is a nice place. I wish Awol and his colleagues should all come there.
Yes.
It's a very nice place.
Awol hasn't been there in a while, but he will come with Dr. Baumia. He'll come with Dr. Baumia to your own backyard, please. Don't be scared.
Well, let me greet Ernesto and then my good friend Kumado, and you yourself and the people in the studio. I wish them well. My brother, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation. We lost 6 of our gallant youth who were out there to serve their nation. It's terrible, very, very, very terrible. It's an unfortunate situation. I mean, they shouldn't have died the way they died. We know they wanted to serve their country, and then they had to lose their life in this way. But I am not a scholar in Islam, but I will did a bit of justice, a bit to it, but he lays it with politics, and I thought he should have moved away from that, knowing that what the MP said was within the Islamic sect. I know that is what most of the clerics always tell us, and he was doing justice to that in the beginning. I mean, so which forum was he expecting the woman to say it? She wanted the woman to organize a Maulidi to go and say such a thing.
He says that the timing wasn't right for that to have been said.
He knows it even before we bury in Islam. They do what we call a sermon. There's a sermon, and in the sermon, the Muslims, the clerics say it.
Yeah, but unfortunately for these individuals, his point is that they don't share the same faith with the MP, so the MP shouldn't have gone there.
That is why I'm saying. At the time she was saying it, nobody knew whether they were Muslims or they were non-Muslims. And I'm saying even with this, in Christendom, they also have the same belief system. Are you getting it? They also have the same belief system. It's just that, well, it was taken out of context. People were being emotional about the whole thing. But at the end of it, even at the funeral ground, these are the same story we are going to be saying. I don't want to go to the funeral of this, our gallant young lady who died. We are going to be saying the same thing that the MP said. Well, I agree that maybe it's the timing she's talking of. At that very moment when emotions were high, and she's a mother. She's a mother and a teacher. She taught for a very long time, so she handles youth for a very long time. And so she was coming from that motherly love and motherly care, and then so we should put her on that as a cleaner. Okay, but let's face it, my brother. Let's face it. You see, Ghana, our problem is we are becoming too hypocrites. And that is why we have all this problem we're having. We must say things as it is. Then we can really set the country proper. Because we are not saying it as it is. And I was expecting my good friend Ernesto to have gone down the line and let Ghanaians know the heinous crimes people perpetuated against the youth in this country for 8 damn good years. For 8 years, did you see this kind of exercise? Did you see this kind of exercise? Where people were brought down to come and do body screening. Did you see that?
But
it never happened.
Alaji.
No, let's face it. But let's face it.
I mean, you can see the reaction from the audience. I mean, you know that this is certainly.
We have a security expert here. For 8 years, listen.
Yeah.
When this country, where they recruited people into the security service, especially the military, nobody screening. No portal was open for people to go and apply. Did you see this kind of process that was
employment nobody screening?
Okay, so which one is better to you, to have nobody screening and a successful and a peaceful recruitment, or to have people come out and then we have something like this happening? Which one would you prefer?
Let me tell you. Did you find out why the MPP lost in all the military barracks? Did you find out? Heavily. Because of the type of recruitment they did to them. They were not happy. They went and brought octogenarians.
They vote for it.
Are you saying 80 years? Alaji, you have to be a bit sure about what you're telling us. 80-year-olds were employed into the military under the NPP?
Oh, my brother. I am saying that.
You just told us on TV.
You want me to send you pictures? I can forward pictures to you now.
Wow.
And you see the type of old men they brought into the military.
Really?
I was there. I was at that time. In fact, as 2020, I was in Sunyani doing exercise on training of party agents. And a friend invited me to come and see the pass out. Sunyani, when the kind of people who they brought in there, and to pass them out, only God knows. Then you ask
how do you know the age of the person by just looking at them? 80 into the military. That doesn't seem to be.
My brother, I'm saying that
doesn't seem to be true, is it?
I am saying that old age people were recruited because they were just party people. They burst into it. They were not given. The youth were not given opportunity to come like how they come. And yes, we are having problems with the numbers.
Don't you think that you're dodging accountability, because there's a lot staring you in the face now as the NDC administration, and the fact that at least someone ought to pay a price for what has happened, and yet we haven't heard about any changes. No one has been fired. No one is taking responsibility for what has happened.
I am saying that, listen, my brother, when it happened, quickly, all those who were in charge of the recruitment process were asked to step aside. Quickly. Go down, go and check. Go and check the statement from the Minister of Defense. They were asked to step aside for investigation. Seriously, government didn't mince words in asking that they should step aside so that investigation will commence to find out what really caused this. Because we're expecting that we will have a fruitless process so that the opportunity is given to the youth. Because we want opportunity to be given to people not based on their political color, not based on their religious coloration or ethnic. You come, show yourself, let go through the body screening. Let them check and see you have all your documentation correct. And then you'll be given the opportunity. Unlike others, where they will just pass them from their party offices, brought them straight to training grounds. The only thing you see that people are wearing uniforms. That was what was happening for 8 years. That's why we have this backlog. That is why we have this huge backlog. Because the youth today deserve that kind of opportunity for 8 years under MPP. They never got that kind of opportunity.
But if the MPP employed the youth at some point, during the 8-year period, how are you calling this as a backlog?
You said
they were picking their party people. That is why these youth are struggling. It was
if an NDC youth goes through the screening process and qualifies, are you saying that the Ghana Armed Forces should not recruit them simply because they belong to your party?
But that is why we have given them that opportunity now. Go through the body screening. Everybody. When they were there, when they started, the other region, did you see that anybody, people went to the screening center with party ID cards? No. They went there as Ghanaian youth so that they were given the opportunity. But unlike our opponents, it didn't happen. You didn't see this. So you couldn't have even tell what people were they picking. All manner of characters were. Do you see that the people they recruited, most of them became armed robbers? Do you see that the people they arrested, most of them were just recruits who were just recruited into the Ghana Armed Forces? They arrested them as armed robbers in most of the areas. Didn't you see it? You reported it on your platforms. Because they were not proper screening. They were just party boys.
Okay.
They brought them, dumped them onto the military. In fact, the military high command had cause to complain about the processes that was happening at that time. And I'm not happy they lost hugely in all the barracks. Because the military is a disciplined institution. It's an institution that you don't joke with. They wouldn't allow that. And yet these people, they didn't care a hoop. And so they went ahead and tried to bastardize that service.
All right. What about the case?
So we came in. Yeah. We came in and said we are going to reset. We'll make sure that we create an opportunity and enabling environment for Ghanaian youth.
Okay.
Ernesto,
I'm glad that you're talking.
We are trying to help them.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're raising that issue. That's where I want us to move to because that's where I want us to move to because this is all about jobs, isn't it? Your government is promising some 800,000 jobs. So let's get into it and feed it into the whole recruitment process. There are some more recruits who went through the process. Probably you want to share your experience with us. So let's pass the microphone to them. Kamal, I'll come to you. Let's just hear a few of the accounts, and then yes, we'll come to you. Yes, you can kindly introduce yourself and let's hear your, share your thoughts with us. Yes, you went through the process, correct?
Okay, I'm Benton Prince, and
yeah, we can hear you. Yes,
I'm Benton Prince, and I went there 2 a.m. And then, what I'm seeing in our country is that our elders, including the MPs, they don't care about the youth. They don't care about the youth. Because situation whereby you ask me to go to school later,
you can resume your seat. It's fine. Yes.
Later, you employ me. For me, what I can say is that it's all lies. Whether I go to university or SHS, even people going to the vocational school don't have opportunity in the military system. Because what they are saying is that when you are able to go to senior high, that's whereby you'll be in the military. They didn't plan for us because I was there 2 a.m. and someone came 6, 7. That person was saved.
Oh, really?
That person was saved. The moment they pick a phone and they make a call, the soldiers will come and then take the person in. So I was asking myself that, okay, I believe there's protocol, fine. So if there's protocol and then the number of people they are employing into the system, let's say 21,000, definitely protocol must be 1,000 and over. So why wouldn't they bring half of the number, the forms? Because definitely there will be a protocol. So the forms that they were selling to us, more than 21,000 people bought the forms. So at least what they should have done is that there will be a protocol. So the forms that...
numbers are way over what you're looking for. Yeah.
Yes. I was listening to one of the MPs, I don't know her name, but what she said, I don't think she will allow her daughter to go to that place. My dad don't have a car, but for her, she does. She always drives her daughter to school in a car. I walked maybe 1 kilometer to my school, but later, when I complete and I'm finding a job, it's very difficult for me. Do I have a good resource? But for MP's daughter or, son and I struggling for a job, definitely, it's he or she that will get, not me. They have opportunities everywhere. Day by day, they will be encouraging the youth, go to school, go to school. Nowadays, when you go to the street and tell someone to go to school, what you will say, you will not even like it.
When you saw the numbers, were you shocked? Were you expecting that,
I was totally shocked. I was totally shocked. Even my brother, I don't know whether he was able to enter into the yard. For me, I did. I betrayed the how should I even put it? I lied to the soldiers.
Outsmart?
Yes. I took off my top and then I told the soldier that I beg him. I really beg him. I want to go to the washroom. He said no. Meanwhile, the crowd people that we are there, one call, they will come and pick the person. Those people, are they better than us? We are asking.
So how did you find your way in?
Okay, I took my top and then placed my file into my boxer together with my phone.
Wow.
So when I went to the washroom and I was able to, manage to find myself into the body selection. So I left my bag and everything for the soldier. And I told him now, please, I'll come back.
So you gave your bag to the
soldier? Yeah, so anyway. For me, I was able to do the body selection and everything. I did everything. But after that, they were sacking us that we should go home. That's where I lost my file. My original birth set, WASI set, and BE set. I lost it. Even when I was doing the body selection and the document, I was barefooted. The treatment the soldiers gave us at the entrance were very, very bad. How can you stick on us? Are we animals? So mics should be used at the entrance. I mean, to tell us what to do. There was no mics. They were there just shouting, "Go back, go back." People at the far, how would they even hear you out? That this is what you are saying.
Here's the thing. Talk to us about when the whole stampede happened. What do you think created that challenge at the gate?
Okay, I would say they are not time conscious. You said we should be there 6:30. Someone came before Wednesday, and I went there 2 a.m. And you said 6:30. 7, 8, 9. The gate was not open, and then you expect that 21,000 people, I mean, on over that came, will be saved that very day. It's not possible. It's not possible. So they didn't really try for us.
Do you still have hope that you'd be able to get this job? Looking at the numbers, I mean...
Looking at the numbers, I have a good resource, and then they go by the resource and then the body selection.
Okay.
So for me, I think if not, if they didn't do anything illegal, I think I can find myself in it. But we plead them that they said our place has been suspended for further notice, and then we are asking them that we really beg them. What my dad said was, those that lost their daughters and they should, I mean, help their family. At least any member from that family, if he or she finds herself into the military, I mean, the ones that they lost, I think it will be okay for them.
What's that idea that we should just give?
Yes, we should give their family a chance because it's not easy. How can you tell your mom or your dad that you are going for this, and then later you just hear a call that, oh, this person is no more? And then I'm staying with a girl that lost his life. I mean, that area.
Okay.
What they told
you are a neighbor to one of the persons.
Not that close. Yeah, but she has taught me. That guy has taught me, and then she works at a GMBC bank, so she has taught me before.
And you find yourself seeking a job with that same person?
She's very smart, so anytime I come from school, she's there assist me. So they call a family that they should come. The daughter is in critical condition. Meanwhile, you know that person is dead, but you should have thought, okay, if you tell that person on phone, maybe they won't believe it or something. But when they get there, what the father said, they didn't allow them to look for, I mean, their daughter. They were just telling them to wait. They were just, I mean, disturbing them. It was later that they revealed to them that their daughter is no more.
Wow. Wow. It's very sad.
So what I'll add up to is that anytime that said thing will be conducted, at least they should have a time of planning. Military and then the, how should I be?
The police and other.
The police, Air Force, Navy, the time should be different. Maybe Army will be safe this day, the next day Air Force, because we were combined together. Even 2024 people that applied, they wrote exams, went for medicals, and later they were not posted in any way. So they came and then bought forms and then came to our place. That's where the place was choked.
Computer said,
wow.
They were not posted in any way, so they came back.
Just to see if they can get some.
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay. So here's what we have to do, because there are so many reactions we want to get, even in the audience, and I understand some more of you also have some accounts to share. We'll take a short break. When we get back, we'll hear some of the accounts, get the take of some members of the audience, and also I come back to my guest, so we look at the issue about job creation, because now that's what it's all boiling down to. How do we create more jobs? Stay with us here on Prime Insight. We'll be back. Welcome back. Harrowing accounts of, how sad it is. Just the quest of jobs and the quest for jobs, and it's turning out to be something else. You've heard the account and some of the struggles of people who've gone through the process trying to, get a chance at serving in Ghana's military. Let's take some more accounts. There's a lady at the back. You also part of the process, correct? Share your account with us. How was it like for you? What time did you get there?
My name is Afi. Actually, I got there around 5 a.m.
5 a.m. That's how early you got there.
Yes, 5 a.m. And by the time I got there, the number of people I saw there, I was discouraged. Because I didn't understand how they wanted to treat.
The moment you saw them, you were discouraged?
Yes, because I knew there is no way they could attend to that number of people.
Were you there when the stampede happened, or you had gone back home at that time?
No, I actually managed to make it inside.
We saw some people climbing the walls. Were you part of those who were climbing? Because a lot of people just wanted to find a way to get in. How did you get in?
I actually wasn't part of the people that climbed the wall, but I was in the crowd. And it wasn't easy. The crowd can suffocate you to death.
Wow. That's how many people. Was it because there was no one to ask you people to queue, or to say? What was the situation like at the gate when you get there? Before you enter, would you find people just separating you, asking you to file a line, or a queue or something? How was it like? No one was there to talk to you?
No, the organization was poor. It was so poor that even the applicants were being indisciplined because of the poorness of the organization.
Wow.
Everybody is just struggling to get inside. We are struggling. There was a point I was suffocating. I cannot even breathe. I almost couldn't make it, if not for one guy that even managed to save me. I almost didn't make it out.
Together as recruits, what did you do when you realized that there was too much chaos there? Because we saw, a lot of social media videos, people saying stuff. Did you all come together to say, okay, let's try and put ourselves in order, or the numbers were just too much for anything?
The number was too much. Nobody was listening to anything. And once you are in the crowd, it's there is no going back. You cannot even go back and be no, I can't breathe, so let me go back. There is no going back, no going forward.
Wow. Around what time did this stampede happen? Do you recall?
I think around 5 to 6 thereabout.
In the morning?
Yes, please.
So even as at 6, we didn't have the military reps present?
I think the reps were very few. You can count the number of reps there. They were very, very few.
So they were overpowered by the numbers, or what happened?
I would say yes. Because the organization was poor. I would keep saying that.
If you go past the gate, would you say that the situation is far different when you go into
it's still the same.
Even within the stadium?
Yes. By the time I made it inside the stadium, I thought, it's empty, but the stadium was already full by then. It was full. The park was full. Outside was full. So I feel those outside didn't even know that inside was full.
Okay, so they were thinking, those outside were simply thinking that if I make it inside,
yes,
the numbers will be down.
Exactly.
Yet, by the time you're getting in, it's already full. But how did that happen? Because you're all supposed to use the same gates. Is it that some people slept there, or, how did that happen?
That I can't really tell.
Let's talk about some people getting help to get into the stadium. Do you feel that maybe that might have cost it, that some people had their own way around the stadium?
Yes. I was there when patrol cars were picking some of the people inside.
Military patrol cars?
Not military patrol cars.
Okay, but some other cars,
yes,
were taking people in groups?
In groups.
Wow.
So it wasn't a fair thing.
People are sitting on the floor. Why do they ask you to sit on the floor? Is it normal? Is it something that...
I don't know. Maybe I basically thought maybe it's one of their process. So we're just
a way of initiating you.
Exactly. So we're just going with the flow.
Wow. The situation there, I mean, looking at what happened, when the suspension was announced, were you allowed to complete the process in terms of the screening that some of you were doing? Because your colleague here was fortunate to have gone through the process. How was the suspension done? Because if it was truncated, then it means that you would have to file another queue again just to get another opportunity. Did you take numbers? What happened? It's all gone?
It's all gone. Like.
So you have to start again?
You have to start again. And it's only some few people that were fortunate to complete the screening. Very few people.
So your fear now is, and let me just ask you, would you go back, looking at what happened the other time?
If the organization is going to be the same, I'm not sure I will be able to go back. Because it's too much for us.
Wow. So immediately you complete the process, you'll be communicated to what the next step will be for you, or is that it?
Yes.
But you were not fortunate at getting that?
No.
Okay. If there's an appeal you want to make to government on this, what would you want the Ghana Armed Forces and the authorities to know? Because, what would you want them to know? Yeah.
Actually, I want to plead on the behalf of the applicants that they should give us another chance, because the indiscipline was not solely our fault. It was 50-50. So it's not your fault. The indiscipline was based on the organization, the poor organization. That's why we were also being indisciplined. If the organization was good, I don't think anyone would have lost their lives trying to just secure a job for themselves.
Very sad. Kamal, you want to say a few words?
Blessed. Listening to Rashid Computer, I feel he needs to wake up and realize that they are in government. Because some of the things he said about the military is very, very indicting. That a government appointee will come on TV and impugn the integrity of the military, that they were recruiting 80-year-old and the like.
No, it's fine.
So they are in power. If he has evidence in that regard, he should just let them dismiss them, because that is very, very telling. That, in fact, the kind of things he said, I don't want to take a swipe at him. Other than that, I would have said, I now understand why he thought his university he attended was awarding PhD. Because you don't talk like that as a government appointee. We now pay him with our taxes. So when he's talking, he should be mindful of the things he says. Blessed, we are in a country where we complain that some foreign missions do not treat our people well, that they let them stand outside, whether in the rain or in sunshine. And when we had the opportunity, or when we get the opportunity,
yeah, go ahead.
When we get the opportunity to treat our own kind differently, we rather do worse than the foreign missions treat us. Blessed, how can you say 21,000 people should assemble at a place for body screening? If you are using 1 minute on each person, that's 21,000 minutes, which is more than 24 hours. So it is something unthinkable for one to even imagine that you tell people to come 21,000, because you have their database. You sent the messages to them. So the army cannot pretend not to know the number they were envisaging or they were expecting on that day. That I totally disagree. Then again, these are our youth who've died. And if you look at the happenings in the country, we've not eulogized them in any way. In any country, I don't think the next would have read the budget. Even the reading of the budget has taken the whole thing away. When the 8 people died, our politicians and other people died. Look at the country. For 1 week, flags were flown half-marks. What have we done to the memories of this youth? A youth who has decided to go and seek for work in the army. The fact that they even went, look, just as the security expert said, no. Once the British Army takes in charge of anything of yours and you happen to get injured within the area, they take responsibility. So I believe the army should now come in and take the responsibility of this debt. The last thing I would like to say, Blessed, is that I'm telling you this on authority that even the figure 6 is massage. That is not the accurate figure. At least I have a neighbor who has lost a daughter. She was not captured.
Really?
Yes.
How?
Yesterday, the vice president was there in my area. She was there to visit the family. Meanwhile, the 6 pictures put out there, the lady is not part of it. I don't have the permission of the family to put the girl's name in public.
No, are you for real on this?
I said yesterday, the vice president was in my area. She's a neighbor. The vice president left there around 7-something. The advanced team were already there when I was going for a program. The MC and co had come there after my Juma prayers. When the vice president, I don't know the time she came back. As at the time I went back home in the night around 7, the vice president was now living with her entourage. When the organization, she came there to visit the family. And I said, how did she get to know of this family? And she came. Meanwhile, you've not captured them. You've announced publicly that 6 people died. Meanwhile, you visited another person who is dead in the process. So even if it is one addition, it tells you that the figure put out there by the government is not true. And according to the brother of the lady, because both of them went for the recruitment, he told me that the sister didn't die out of the stampede. She died out of exhaustion, just as the lady was saying. So it's not all the people who died out of the stampede, because the place was crowded that they couldn't even breathe at the point. That is what happened. And I think government must be truthful to the extent that some even said they saw boys lying down motionless, that they could presume that those guys...
So your suspicion is that the numbers may be more than...
Yeah, the numbers are massaged. If you look at it, some media houses publish 12. Only for them to come and rebut, the government to come and rebut. And I'm saying, I'm even using just the one person I know, because government officially has given us 6. And I know of one person who is not captured. But the vice president found her way to come and greet that family who wasn't captured. You understand? To commiserate with the family. So it tells that the government is massaging the figure, which is not proper. Rashid Computer is here, taking swipes still at the former administration. I want to tell him to bow his head in shame, because this is the first of its kind that the military is doing recruitment and people are dead under your administration. We don't want to politicize because families are hurt. You have had the opportunity as a government appointee, and the only thing you would do is to come and try to play politics, when initially you were accusing somebody of playing politics.
Okay.
Lastly, his knowledge about Islam is even poor, because when the things Awal said and the way he came in tells that his knowledge about Islam, when they are talking about things about Islam, then I leave it at that. I now understand.
Okay, let's get some thoughts.
Good morning. To me, after listening to Rashid Tanko and also the MP, and also the acting finance minister, he was talking about transparency, that the previous government didn't recruit many people into the army or the Ghanaian forces. So I'm asking myself, what is transparency about gathering over 20,000 people at one place? What is transparency about this? Can they swear an oath? Can Rashid Tanko swear can he swear with his Quran that there's no protocol in the system?
Not a Muslim.
Yeah, not Muslim. Or even with the Bible, or even with his Bible, there's no protocol. If there's no protocol,
protocol is not new, is it?
Pardon?
Protocol is not new in the armed forces.
Yes. No, they are doing this because of transparency. And I'm saying, being transparent means there will not be any protocol. There won't be any protocol. But we all know, even from what they are saying here, means there was protocol even at the venue. Can they swear by the MPs, the NDC MPs, the NDC leadership, can they swear that there's nothing like protocol in the system, in this what they're doing? So they should forget about this transparency and other things. And I'm also imagining that I have to work or I have to join the army just because I lost a sister or a family member. In fact, the trauma, the conscience, like my guilty conscience and other things, like I have to be in the army just because my brother went and then he passed. How will I even feel? Am I going to serve the country? I'm just going there because I have to be there. I think that's a very, very bad one. And also the MP, Honorable Ayamba Ladi, saying that they were ordained to die. We didn't hear the same statement when the 8 gallant men died with the helicopter. We didn't hear the same statement that they were ordained to die, that they were ordained to die. We didn't hear the same thing.
She was in parliament at that time too.
But she was in parliament. With that, she was mourning with their families. She was crying with their families. She never said they were ordained to die. But now with these people, she is saying they were ordained to die. Are they different? Are their souls different from the 8 men? Or the families don't value them, or the 8 men are being valued, and these 6 people or these massage figures who have passed.
You also don't believe? Are you following your
from what Kamal said? I can't believe from what he's saying.
You believe Kamal?
Yeah, I believe Kamal.
I'm not saying I doubt Kamal. That's not what I'm saying.
So what I'm saying is that.
Yeah.
You are so special than the 8 men who passed. Like we are flag with half mast.
Yeah.
Are they special? They are all human beings. They are all Ghanaians. And then it's like they are all trying to defend this thing. Meanwhile, we have to point fingers to those who are in charge. Those who are in charge. We have to point fingers to those who are in charge. It's like a criminal or an armed robber killing someone, and they tell me the person was ordained to die this week through by an armed robber. So you should let the armed robber go without pointing fingers at the armed robber. You have to point fingers at those who are in charge. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
I really don't understand if, as a country, we will still adapt to an outmoded system for recruitment. That is what I find it quite baffling, because this is a country that has all our structures are weak. Where from that? How can you promised us a 24-hour economy with 3 shifts? Why didn't you use that opportunity to run that 3 shifts?
Yes. Yeah.
What's the meaning of that? This is a particular institution that needs to, that particular person who is finding himself in that military needs to be nurtured. We started way back telling you that at least start from the secondary schools. Get the cadet. Whoever wants to be a part of the security services must join the cadet. Bring inspectors from the various security institutions, bring them to the schools, let them train them. And by the time they finish the 3 years, they already have the basis, they already have the foundation. And what are we putting out there? With poor structures. Now I tell you what, look at the number of youths going there to seek for job. Do you think it's their first option? No. 3rd, 4th options. They have nothing to do. And if you have a country that a future is not promised, look at the resources that we have. We are not even able to turn it, to industrialize it, for people to buy into it, for people to work, for people to find a livelihood in them. And we always make the security services look so beautiful in the eyes of the youth. What promise future do we have for our country? It's sad.
Well, it's sad indeed. And that will move us next into the next phase of our conversation, which has got to do with the promise government is giving. The finance minister has assured that 800,000 jobs at least will be created. Richard, that will solve the national security threat we have a little with this whole youth bulge.
Yeah, so if you look at unemployment as a major risk issue, and you are able to provide job in whichever number or quantity, then you are reducing the numbers. But
because the fear is, and you just heard Ernesto saying that the numbers, that's a lot of power. In fact, looking at what's happening in our sub-region, you don't want to have people seeing visuals of scores of our youth desperate to join the
definitely. They could be misled, and that could create a major public safety challenge for us. I think one of the difficulties we are having is to restructure our narrative and our national conversations properly. Where would the jobs be coming from? Who are those creating the jobs, and what are the types of jobs? If you leave it to the NDC MPP, you know how the narration is going to be. But then we can disagree and agree, these are the jobs we want to create. This is where it's coming from. But one of the things my brother said is that we make the security agencies more presentable. So everybody wants to go there. And when I hear them speak, they said, we are looking for job. No, when you put yourself out there we are talking of the army. You are not looking for job. You are there to serve. It comes with sacrifice. In my days when I joined the BNI, we were about 4,000 that started. At the end of 3.5 years of background checks, they pick only 4 of us. You didn't know that. And so I know there's anger, there's...
Do you feel that there's a misconception even about the recruitment process?
Yes.
That it's a normal employment process?
Exactly. And that is why we have not educated our daughters when you get there what to do. We have not educated our sons when you get there what to do. There were certain things they were texting about you, but we'll bring it down to what my brother said, that let's start from the secondary schools, let's start from the universities where they have some level of cadet training. And it helps them because they were actually testing your resilience, your endurance, your pressure, and your mental fortitude, and many of those things. And that is why they say you should assemble. And whether we have 21,000 people assembling or not, At any point in time when you interface with the instructors, whether the police, the BNI, prison, or fire service, they will still have the opportunity to text you based on some of
so
those.
So are we saying that the security agencies' jobs are not necessarily, we shouldn't be seeing them through that from a security point of view? No. We shouldn't be seeing them just as any kind of employment?
No, because you see, when you take the army, it's a unique place all across the group. What they used to do is that when they are taking people, they may take people of 20 years age, and they know that within this year, about 10,000 people are leaving. So they will need 10,000 people to join. So we have to take it from NDC and NPP. You see, we have to take the security recruitment from them, but from the lackadaisical attitude, my brothers in the military, they know I love them, and this is the military. We all love them and cherish them. From what they have done, it's going back into the hands of the politician.
How about what's going to happen next week?
For the IGP, that's my uncle. He has done this job for many years. I don't think the police will have the kind of difficulties the military had, because you have...
Have you seen the numbers? Because
we have police officers, we have police stations all over the country. And if we go with what my brother Awa said, even if they adapt that, or they adapt the regional basis, they wouldn't have the kind of challenges they have. But blessing, this is the thing. We are doing the police first. We'll come and do immigration. We'll come and do fire. You are asking them, will you want to join? And some are saying no. But this is, the sample here is not huge as goes there. So if the person doesn't get the military, you see the same number coming to the police, the same number coming to prison. And I'm saying that we can be strategic about it, we can be creative about it, so that you do not just say, I'm joining the security agencies. Something has to be driving you from home or from what you want to become in the future. And those personality development traces are things we don't take care of it in our country. So it looks like, I've known people who said, I want to join immigration. They got there 1.5 years, they want to leave.
Okay.
Because they say salary is too small. Some people join police and they said they want to leave because they complain of certain things. It means that you have not been oriented properly. You do not have personality development, structure, career being model for you. And I'm saying that, yeah, young people want to serve, but let's be a bit more creative about it. Let's educate them. Let's create awareness, and they'll be fine. What you saw there, if you bring in politicians, there would have been a problem. This is purely military, who have done this job over and over again, and we need to hold them accountable. But if you change the discussion and you bring in my brother Awa and Rashid Tanko, we will not get it. But my heart goes out for you guys, and I think they will help us. The two of them will help you young people. It will also be
so, which means that the politicians have to create other jobs. Well, that's what the finance minister is promising this week. 800,000 jobs. So let's get to it. Ernesto, 800,000 jobs. If we were to create that, some are arguing that we won't even see the likes of what happened at this week. Are you, first of all, convinced that about the plan from the finance minister on how to create these 800,000 jobs for the youth?
Well, I think it's from my experience in media watching. It would be wise on my part to not take the figures politicians throw into the public domain very seriously. But that is not to say that I do not think that the Mahama administration is serious about beating their own record, during his first term. At least I can say something about the CD-dollar ratio. I can say something about the inflation, to single digits. I can say something about the fact that when it's coming to the end of the month, I no longer hear anxiety from public service workers as to whether their salary will come. A few months ago, we were there. And so I can take that because at least it is something I see. I can also see that in all of this, it's not trickling down on prices of goods and services. spare parts and all of that, why is a single-digit inflation not being seen and felt at Abosokai? Why is the CD dollar, how do you call it, interaction not reflected in prices of goods?
We've heard from Guta. Guta says, I mean, they need more stability so it can start reflecting on the prices of their commodities.
The point I am coming to is about fairness. I think that is at the heart of this whole conversation. We have lost 6 or more lives because the persons involved, the applicants, did not feel that the system or the state will be fair to them. Prince got there at 2 a.m. and people who came around 6, 7 in the morning had entry. So it is a serious question about leadership, about ethics. Look, if we allow this opportunity to learn to pass us by, I don't know what else would wake us up. There was a period in the life of Europe when they themselves decided that, look, from this age onwards, let us be an age of reason. There's so much superstition that science plays virtually no role in our thinking. And that's why people struggle with the likes of Musa Dangwa, because they think that he's just predicting. He's not on the prediction spree. It is science and data. And like we have said here, I mean, by my colleagues and the audience, Ghana Army, you've been doing this from time immemorial. How do you end up with this? And my answer to that is that it was disaster in waiting. It was disaster in waiting.
That's why I'm pointing you to what the assurance from the Minister for Finance is, that the target is to create 800,000 jobs. At least if they are able to do that with this budget, that will significantly cut the pressure.
I don't want to rely on that. I want to be truthful in the tangibles.
Yeah.
And so if at the end of the day we see that, okay, unemployment has reduced, and we can point to persons, look, when I completed university, I was basically at home for about 8 years. And a significant number of, people have gone through that. Some people even more. And so let us look ourselves in the face and tell ourselves the truth. And I'm happy with Prince, your outburst, because if we do not face it and we have to almost all the time embellish it, and Kafu was saying, the MP was in Parliament when the helicopter crash happened. Why didn't she come out to say that it was bound to happen? No matter what would have, it was bound to. Why? There's a class question here. And young people in this country have to understand that and mobilize themselves into a force for yourselves. Look, Ekufuado, I'm telling you, Ekufuado was a man in the streets. He was a man in the streets. He was
and so you seem to be asking the youth to...
There has to be a waking up, because I am not convinced.
We've been doing this for the last...
I am not convinced that the state is ready to turn a new leaf. It is until young people and the people of this country, marginalized people of this country, realize that we belong to the same class. And that even when it comes to debt, there is discrimination.
Okay, tell me about what you plan to do as the Economic Fighters League. Are you going to... now, you said you raised the campaign earlier about the fight for jobs. That wasn't too successful because the youth were not joining. What do you plan to do now, knowing what has happened?
We want the state to immediately refund to the youth of Ghana their 200 cedis. Immediately.
You want the money refunded?
It has to be refunded. Richard was talking about the fact that during his time, I mean, there was a recruitment process they went through, there was a significant number of people, and then at the end of the day, they slashed the number and only a few people. Did you pay for forms?
No, it has been there since time immemorial. Paying forms has been there since time.
Did you pay?
Still have.
The introduction of forms, I think it's a bit more recent, isn't it, Richard?
There has been a debate among the two political parties about
removing the cost of the forms.
Remove the pricing or reducing it. It has always been.
So which means that the introduction is relatively new of this paying for.
If we are talking about reforms, we are looking at the procedural in benchmarking best practices. Then we will need to look at it because from what the
years past, we're not paying for it.
What the Minister of Interior said, going through the digital procedure in registering and the system align you to a particular center, then we can make the argument is that why should people have to pay? Then
so Richard, we shouldn't be paying for the forms.
No, then we can also be looking at for whether should you pay for your medicals or the state to pay.
But how about the forms? He's talking about the forms.
Brother, one of the things we don't do, we keep on picking them one after the other. Instead of looking at it as a whole and say, if we are going digital, should we continue to pay for the form? Then we can also start it from now to say that should we be paying for our medicals to serve in the security or the government should pay?
Ernesto, let me allow Ernesto to land and I'll come to you a while. So he's saying that what should we consider now? Removing the fees for the form or the refund first of all? That's
so first of all, refund. Second, abolish it.
For the forms.
The forms, the sale of the forms. Abolish it. Because we are citizens, we pay taxes, the state has a fiduciary responsibility to us. In fact, anybody who opts to want to be part of the security service, I mean, I can see...
And other public employment...
And other public...
Yeah, you have to pick up a form.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I can see an argument can be made for why it cannot even be seen as a job, but then sacrifice. But every job is sacrificial if you look at it. And that's why it's important for me that we don't see this as an isolated incident. It is only us that this is happening to. It is an opportunity to draw the connections and to unite and fight for yourself. And like I'm saying, others did it. That generation of Ekufuado and the rest, they were in the streets. They were in the streets. They fought. Today, if you are talking about some of the wealthy people in the country, you cannot escape their names.
I see.
And so, we have everything to gain if we come together to advance the cause of our...
All right, let me hear you.
Before it's important to also say that we have different security agencies and what the peculiar criteria is. But sometimes, because of emotions, we box them together. And so it's also part of providing public education and creating awareness. We say many of those things so that those who want to join, maybe from 15th of Monday, they will know that when you are joining the fire service, there's a peculiar reason you want to join fire, and because of the requirements and many of those ones.
Okay. Well, I want you to focus on the budget. Look at it from the perspective of the budget. 800,000 jobs.
Yes. So before I get to the budget, I still share in the views of those who said that don't sell the forms at all for people to really access any employment in this country. At YEA, in the last 8 years, we did over 300,000 job placements. We didn't sell a single form. People didn't pay for any of the services. It was free, and this is a state agency. So why can't we do it with the security agencies and the others? So that can also be done. But when you check what the figures, the 800,000 that he brought, I look at it and I laughed because, you see, majority of the jobs that he's talking about are laborers. Yes. Because, you see, you see, he gave the breakdown. You interviewed the deputy minister yesterday on
radio, yes.
On radio. You were in the studios where he said 490,000 will come from construction of the roads. And he said 63 billion.
And you talked about the oil palm situation.
Yes, oil palm.
But if you look at the oil palm,
laborers.
for instance, he said someone can be on that project for as long as 6 years.
So I'm saying that these are laborers and not sustainable jobs.
What's your definition of a laborer? Because, I mean, we all labor one way or the other.
So you see, when you say you are employing 490,000 people on road construction, how many of them are engineers? How many of them are supervisors, and how many of them will use their own strength to work on the field?
Oh, no. Come again on this one. I want to understand you. Are you saying that if an opportunity is created, the mere fact that you're at the lower end of the opportunity, it's not a job, it's not a meaningful job?
These are not sustainable jobs. It is only the oil palm that he told you that it will be, someone will be on
as
for
long as
6 years.
Yes.
But the roads, he said 3 years. He said maximum 3 years, everyone will be off. Where will they be again? So that is the point. Again, the 490 is not also sustainable because he said it will be through the big push. Now, when you check the big push, last year, that is this year, 2025, they budgeted 13 billion. They have not been able to even release up to 10 million of it. It is only in July that they even awarded some contracts in the budget. You understand? Now you're saying that you're doing 63 billion this year. And the 63 billion, you have only budgeted for 30 billion for 2026. Even if you put the 13 million that they budgeted in this year, together with the 30 million that they budgeted for next year, it's 43. It's not even up to the 63. Yeah. And you're saying that the 63 billion will generate the 490 jobs, 1,000 jobs. That is one. Two is that they talked about the a garment factory that they anticipate to construct in the next 1 year. And within that period, they said they anticipate that it will get 20,000 jobs. You have not constructed the factory. And there's no factory in this country that can take like 6 months, 7 months to construct these government factories. It will take maximum 18 months to construct. So in the next 1 year, there will not be any 20,000 jobs in the government sector. And that is the real truth. So when you check the numbers, and it's disheartening that a government that said that they are coming with a 24-hour economy, 133 jobs. If you check the numbers, there is no single job from the 24-hour economy because they even allocated 90 million, something that is supposed to take 4 billion. You allocated 90 million. In the 90 million, it's only 20 million that is going into capex. That is the capital expenditure that will drive jobs. The rest is consumption. So clearly you could tell that this government will not create up to even 10,000 jobs in the next 1 year.
By your own estimation?
By the figures that they have churned out and with the support of what they have written in the budget and the allocations. Look, this year, in the last 10 months, how many jobs have you created? Industry grew 7.1 in 2024. It declined to 3.6 in 2025. Construction was 9.6 in 2024 when we're leaving. Today, it is 2.9. So how do you create jobs? That's the reason I'm saying that. When you check the figures that they have churned out, the government cannot even create 10,000 jobs in the next 1 year. And that's the reality, because the things that they have lined up with the 800,000, it is now that they are telling you that they will establish factories. When they said they will establish factories under President Mahama 1, the Commander Sugar Factory, it took them more than 3 years to construct the Commander Sugar Factory. Now you are telling us that you're creating 3 government factories, and the 3 government factories will employ 20,000 people in the next 1 year. How is this possible? You've not even constructed them. So that's what I'm saying, that when you check the budget and the 800,000 jobs that he's talking about, it is the usual NDC propaganda of churning out figures to say that they have created jobs. You remember the NDC one, when Okujeto Ablakwa said they had created 1.4 million jobs, and the employment minister said, well, the media can ask him where the jobs were because he didn't know where they have created that job. That is the same thing that Fosun came to tell us, that he's creating 800,000 jobs. Fortunately, you, the media, were able to scrutinize him on Joy FM yesterday. When you asked him the questions, he told you that they are only going to create laborers who are not even sustainable. These are not sustainable
terminology,
jobs. They are not sustainable jobs. It is only 2 years, 1 year, the person will be on the field and that's it.
Let's do this. Tanko Computer is with us. Let's get your take on the jobs briefly, because we are running out of time.
Well, my brother, I can appreciate the pain of my friends for losing power. I know it's not easy for them. And then I can assure you, we will continue to do things that Ghanaians will appreciate us, because they voted us to come and reset the country. We are not going to allow our youth to suffer anymore. We are not going to allow that. We will make sure that the youth enjoy their fruit of their labor. The country is for the youth, and we are going to work towards that to make sure that we make them happy. And that is why we are opening up this opportunity for the youth. We want to create this opportunity for them so that all of them can come and avail themselves for the opportunities provided for the security services. My brother, we must face it. We are not going to behave like our opponents. And that is why it has led us to this. Imagine we are also going to sit in the comfort of our offices and recruit people, bus them from party offices to our agency or all the training schools for them to be trained. Nobody will hear any recruitment. The only thing you hear is that people have come out, passed out. That was what was happening. So if we have come and we are changing the narrative, we want to open up, be transparent, let the youth come, show themselves, and then they will do this body screening and all that. I am telling you for a fact, look, last year, well, as soon as we won power, and we handed over the administration of governance, January 7th, we had to stop some recruitment process. When the military hinted us, they had barred some people, broad numbers. I'm happy one of them mentioned it, that some people who were stopped came up and joined them again. Do you know the screening exercise that we did, the rigorous process the military had to go through again?
Right.
And when they went through the budget, if I give you the report, hello.
Yeah. I just wanted you to land because of time, unfortunately.
I'm telling you that the reason why we are having these challenges, and I'm saying that when the military now accepted their authority, and they were given the free hand to do proper screening of those people. A lot of them were jettisoned.
I get that. Thank you so much.
Because they realized that these were not people who should be allowed to come near the military at all.
Right. Thank you, Tanko Computer. We need to wrap up. Here's what I want to do. Let me just give 30 seconds to you. I'll give Richard the last word to comment on this.
Prioritizes free sanitary pad over its own flagship program of 24-hour economy. You allocated 292 million cedis for sanitary pads and allocated 110 million to your flagship program of 24-hour economy. So for the youth who have banked their hopes on the 24-hour economy, I'm sorry that the NDC government is beginning to disappoint them on that.
Thank you. Richard, your final comments on the Z9 report?
We are a nation in transit. Mistakes will be made, but we need to be bold enough to say, we put ourselves out there as leaders and begin to deliver for the people of Ghana. And that's the only way there will be food for this country.
All right, grateful to Ernesto Yeboah, to Awal Mohammed, to you, Richard Kumado, and to all of you joining us in the studio. We've run out of time, unfortunately. I am Blessed Sugan. Let's connect on X at Blessed Sugan. We'll see you again. Bye for now.